This is the last section for Chapter 5. It's Objectives 97 to 102. This deals with graphs, reading graphs, and being able to choose the correct one for the data that they give you. So our terms are going to help you out in identifying which graphs that you want to use. So our first term that we have is what's called a line plot. This is a graph that shows frequency of data along a number line. This is used to track changes over short and long periods of time. So it's kind of a connect the dots type of graph that shows increases and decreases over a period of time. Our second graph is called a comparison line graph. This is a graph that shows consecutive observations of different variables. So it's comparing two different things or three different things or multiple different things. And you're trying to figure out which is the best value, which is the best offer, who did the best work, who did the most work, all that stuff for comparisons. What's called a broken line graph. This is a graph that shows information by plotting points of info on the graph with dots and connecting them with a line. So it kind of looks like a regular, just a line graph in itself. You have just a up and down part of the video or the line going up and down with your data for that. Bar graphs are what we were working with in the last section with the histograms. This is used to show how something changes over time or to compare different items. So you're using it to compare things between different groups or to track changes over time. This is best when the changes are larger. So that way you can see the difference between the two line graph or the bar graphs in there. Circle graphs or pie charts. This is a graph to show relative proportions of different categories to each other and to the whole. So what you're doing is you're comparing parts of what the whole thing is. So it will not show changes over time, it's just what you get, and usually it's a percentage. It could be a number, but you can relate it to a percentage as you go through your high school and math careers. So that one is a good one to show just if you're dealing with parts of something, of a whole. Our last one is a frequency table that lists items and uses tally marks to record and show the number of times they occur. So it's like going out and asking people what their favorite food is. You keep track of who chose what, and then you go back and then you graph it once you get done with that. So it's a matter of looking at graphs and seeing what graphs are going to work for you in this case. So our first example is, it says the numbers below represent the number of calls received one day in the school office. Which line plot shows the data? So this is a line plot. So it's on a number line. So what we're looking at is we got to go through our data and see, well, we have 46 of them the 46 shows up 3 times. So on my line graph I go 44, 45, 46. So here's our 46. We have 3 here. We have only 2 here, so we know this one's out. 41, 45, 46. Here's 46 again and 46 again. Well, this one's out because it only shows 2. So now we're down to 2 numbers. So we go to 47. 47 shows up twice. So 46, 47. So 47 here shows up twice. 47 shows up here twice. We go to 48. 48 shows up once. 48 shows up once. Shows up once. And it's just a comparison of going down the list of what actually is taking place in here. So we had 53, that one shows up twice, so you can kind of jump ahead. Here's 53, here's 53, it shows it twice here, so this one is out, so our answer comes here. So again, it's a matter of just reading the graphs and going through the data plot as you get through there. For another one, it says use the bar graph below to find out how many more students read adventure books than romance novels. So you got to find out first, okay, here's our adventure book column. Here's our romance column. We're going to take the 2 numbers. This one is 80 and this one is 55 or 45. It's right in the middle, so we take 80 minus our 45 and that will give us our answer. In this case it'd be 35 for it. For this one, which type of graph would best show the change in average price of cereal for the past 10 years? So again, we're looking at how the price changes over 10 years. and that would be a good one to use a line graph for. You wouldn't want to use circle graphs because that takes care of something in parts. So line graph would be your best choice. Here's a comparison graph. So we're taking and we're looking at which robot cleaned the windows in 20 seconds or cleaned the most windows, and then asking, well, how many more windows did it clean? So the first thing you have to do is find your 20. Find out, okay, here's robot B. Here's 20. Here's robot A. So robot B cleaned more windows. Well, we know that this is going to be 4 for robot B. Robot A only did this many, so they did about 1.5. So we're going to take 1.5 and then we're going to subtract them. So robot B is the one that we're looking at. So robot A, nope. Robot B by only 1, nope. Robot B by A by 1, it comes out to 2.5. So you'd subtract those to get that taken care of. Here's another comparison graph. We're looking for the years of 1996 and 1997. So here's your key. So 96 has the solid block, 97 has the open circle. During which months was the difference between the kilowatts the greatest? So you're looking for the biggest difference between there. So we're looking at, well, what spacing is between the biggest one? And if you got to count these, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that gives me a 5 on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like we've got our month right here, and you got to be careful on how you read this. So it goes January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So our answer would end up to be July. So again, which graph or graph shows parts of a whole? And again, that's going to be a circle graph for that. So that again goes back to your terms and using your terms to help you understand that one. And our last question is, which graph or graphs would be the best to show pets, favorite pets of groups of students? Well, you have graph 1, graph 2, or graph 3. Remember, graph 3 is you're doing a part of this. So we would want to choose probably graph 1 and 2. That would give us the best idea. A bar graph or a line graph can actually be turned into a bar graph if we just make our rectangles and it'll look like a bar. So your answer for this one would have ended up to be answer B. So again, it's just reading graphs, looking through your data, seeing which one would work out the best for you. And the best thing for you to do would be to use your notes, bring them to class, and we can answer questions. And then also with some of the questions of best graph, some of these, you could say, well, this one and this one, but you only get one choice, and you got to take a look at it. So on some of the practices, it's okay if you get one wrong. We'll look at it. We can take care of, what the issue is, and we can kind of see how that program is working through the answer for that question. With that, that's the end of Chapter 5. Good luck. Bring your notes. Ask questions.